you might want to invest in some trinkets of some sort, because some of my games have little pieces that move around the board. And if you just say to the students, oh, get a coin out of your pocket or something, that's not going to work with them. You need to have an actual game piece that they can identify with. And don't be afraid to let them go either. I've had students who said, well, I want the star every time this semester, so I'd let them take the piece that they want home and decorate it however they want, and if they really like that for some reason. So if you don't get the pieces back, oh well. I mean, it's not like it wasn't worth it for making the game more realistic for them. And actually, there is a new project I'm working on, because I found a company that sells blank playing boards, like Monopoly boards, but the spots are all blank around the outside, so I can put anything in the squares that I want. So I'm trying to think of, well, what can I actually do with something like this? The timers, I only bought timers because I really thought that it needed to be as realistic for the students as possible. So if the game happens to be timed for any reason, or if I feel like some students are taking too long to do something, I might say, oh, okay, let's put a time limit on. And this might even be if I know that the students are playing more than one game in the same day, I might actually put the timer down so I know when that group started, and say, okay, I'm going to come back in 30 minutes. And then I walk around the room, and then when I see that that group's timer has hit 30, I pull them from the game and make them start the next one. So it's not necessarily for the students to time themselves, it's also for me to keep track of what group is working at what pace. So it's really a helpful tool for me. All right, now these, I don't know if you know what they are, but they're actually Scratchoffs. So you could actually put those dots wherever you want and scratch it off. So I'm trying to really think, what math game would have students scratching things off? So maybe they scratch off something and it says x squared under there. The possibilities are endless with something like a scratch off. So if any of you can think of something that you would do with a scratch off, I would love to hear it, because I've had these things for 2 weeks now, and it's really bothering me that I don't know what I want to do with them yet. I bought them at easyscratchoffs.com. Yes, yes, they're a company in California, so I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I feel like something big could come from having the students scratch something off, because students really like scratching things off, I've noticed. Alright, so now I'm actually going to talk about some of the games now that I've talked about all the supplies. Except there's one other supply I didn't mention, and that's because I just got them in the mail yesterday morning. But it's a whole bunch of spinners, and about last night I decided I want to play a new game with my class on Tuesday. So I started marking up these spinners with different operations and functions I want them to do, and these are the functions over here. So we're going to spin to get their function, and then this is going to tell them what they want to do with it. And then essentially what's going to happen is they're going to do the operations, and then if they get it right, they're going to mark a spot on a bingo sheet, and 5 in a row they win. And they really like that type of game because they like blocking the other team. And the first time I did a block game like that, I thought, okay, they won't let the other team, do anything because they just want to get done right away. So they'll just, one group will put 5 over here, the other group will put 5 in the bottom row, they'll be done. Well, one guy started playing mean and started blocking, so the other team started blocking right back. So they will get into it, and it really just takes some time on your part to set up good questions and a game dynamic that they really want to be a part of. Okay, so why am I even so excited about this? Because I really feel like I'm more excited about this than most people I know. This is actually a game that I made this summer when students were having trouble with, should I find f of 0 or should I set f of x equal to 0? Because students have a big problem with functions sometimes. So what I did is I actually made a game to remedy that, and it's the freaking functions game. And you can see that they're working with their little notepads. They know that on days that we're going to do things like this, which is very often, that they bring in coffee and things like that. So it's actually fairly relaxed for them to just work out their problems. And those pieces are the ones that look like this. But you do have the instructions. So if you ever have trouble with the instructions, I would love to hear about that, because I really do take the feedback seriously, just so that I can improve the games and make them better for the next group of students. But we really don't have time to look at this one in detail today. That's because after I go through some of the comments that students have made about some of the games, I'm actually going to have you play a game that I didn't give you, so that you can sort of experience what it is from the student standpoint to have a game just put in front of you, and the whole collaborative aspect, because that's what it's really all about. We want to get our students to collaborate with each other and to be engaged. And if they're engaged, then I really feel like I've been fairly successful. So here are some of the things that students have said about this game. They get to work as a team. When do students actually say that about math class, that they get to work as a team? I really like that a student pointed that out. They get to work with the functions, and it's a fun way to learn math. Really? I mean, I'm competing with, shooter games on the internet, and they're saying this about the games that I'm making, a fun way to learn math. So I'm just really impressed that they actually want to play these games. Again, working as a team to solve to win. The winning is a big deal for them. So if it's a game where there's not really an aspect to win, and no strategy involved, even a simple blocking, like I said, then they won't have any initiative to play the game. They need an incentive. They like to win. A good way to sharpen your math skills. Really? I mean, I was astounded that they would actually say that and recognize that there was value in this game. If the students are recognizing that there's value in what we're doing in the math classroom, that's impressive, that the students are figuring this out on their own. And it was easy to play. Fun and educational. Creative way to learn that. And think about it this way. They're not saying that it was a creative game or something creative to play or something creative that was made up. It was a creative way to learn. And that was what was impressive to me. So it's the student comments that are driving my excitement about this. If the students are excited, I'm excited.